All right, so finish off rapid reaction. A lot of topics, a little bit of time. You got to drink.
Let's roll, baby. Broncos pass rusher Von Miller is the subject of a police investigation in Parkers, Colorado. Although no charges have been filed, what are your thoughts on this news?
Not a whole lot of thoughts on the police investigation, but I do think we've seen the last of Von Miller in Denver. I think he'll be playing somewhere else in 2021. Chicago Bulls coach Billy Donovan said his team wants to win, but they don't know how to after they lost their fourth straight game to fall to 4-8. Do you agree with Donovan? And do you have any issue with what he said?
Nope, absolutely not. Now I would say this: you're the coach, so you're supposed to be teaching them how to win. But I do understand what he's saying. When you come in, you got these young guys, they never won. So they don't know how to close out a game properly. They don't know how to, forecast and get ready. So, but as the coach, Billy Donovan, we have more respect for you to be able to get these guys ready. That's why we said this was a good hire for Chicago. So we need you to prove us right there, Billy, and get these guys going. But I do understand what he means. It's hard for those guys to understand that little things matter to win. The New York Yankees agreed to terms on a 6-year contract worth $90 million with second baseman DJ LeMahieu. Better deal for the Yanks or LeMahieu?
I think it's a better deal for the Yankees. I mean, $15 million a year for a guy who just is coming off winning a batting title, and that's his second batting title in his career now. It almost feels like a little bit of a steal for the Yankees, and a guy who, in my mind, since he's came over, has been their most reliable hitter, their most consistent hitter, certainly more so than the combination of Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton, who are, for some reason reminding me of Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson for some reason. In his first media session since joining the Brooklyn Nets, James Harden rejected the idea that he was disrespectful to his former Houston Rocket teammates this season. Do you believe him?
Somewhat. I don't think his comments was disrespectful. When he said the team wasn't good enough and they're not going to, they don't think they can compete for a championship, that was not disrespectful. That was that's the truth. Like, your team ain't good enough. Like, even with James Harden, that team was not good enough to compete for a championship. Now, he was disrespectful with the way he showed up to camp, the way he handled himself in the offseason, then, coming in with an apathetic attitude and, coming out here looking with a dad bod and all this. Like, that was disrespectful to the players because you showed you didn't care to come in any type of shape. So, yeah, that was. So I would say his actions was disrespectful, but what he said out of his mouth, that was not disrespectful. The Steelers will not retain offense coordinator Randy Fentner after a disappointing finish to the season. Do you agree with that decision, Jay?
Yeah, I do. I think Mike Tomlin's right to make a few changes after you finish off a season in such a disastrous way. And as the season went along, they just lost full sight of the running game, and it was just Big Ben just throwing the ball 50, 60 times, and it just never worked. And it's just a situation where they had to go in a different direction, because that one wasn't working. The Portland Trailblazers center Yusuf Nurkic, what do you know? We'll miss at least 8 weeks after suffering a fractured right wrist Thursday night against the Indiana Pacers. What's that mean for the Blazers' playoff hopes?
The same thing it meant since he's been on the roster. You might get him back. He might be available. Then the Blazers they're going to go from a good team to a great team, or they're going to go from an average team to a good team. All that smack that Charles Barkley like to talk on the TNT network. But at the end of the day, it means about the same. They're going to be a middling team. They might make the playoffs as a 6, 7, or 8 seed, and then they're going to get bounced in the first round, and then we're going to hear how they would have won the series if they had Nurkic. That's what it means. This guy's always hurt. He's pretty doggone unreliable, but whatever. We'll see what Charles Barkley got to say, and we'll go with that. The Houston Astros buffered their bullpen by signing former Los Angeles Dodgers reliever Pedro Baez. You a fan of this move, Jay?
I am. I think what I've seen for the Astros in the past several years is a lot of their bullpen guys. They're not power arms. They don't throw particularly hard. Baez is a guy. He's going to come in. He's going to throw mid 90s, upper 90s with a hard slider. And that's a young bullpen outside of Ryan Presley last year. They didn't have a lot of veteran guys they could lean on. He'll fix that, and I think he'll be a big asset to him. The NBA has fined Brooklyn Nets point guard Kyrie Irving $50,000 for violating the league's health and safety protocols. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, well, at first glance, I was like, why? Kyrie Irving did so much, I got confused and what exactly he was getting fined for. Let me say that. I thought it was for something else. I had to go back and you straightened me out on that and pointed me in the right direction. So as far as violating the health and safety protocol, absolutely. Hey, I'm with it, NBA. And if the players ain't getting the notion, go ahead and crank it up to 1,000. 100,000. Because you gotta get these guys to take it serious. What we seen Kyrie Irving out at an event, and I got it. To each his own, right? But at the end of the day, you are an employee of the NBA. So if the NBA say knock it off, they have the right to say, okay, you don't want to knock it off, we'll take some of that money that you've been getting paid. That's just what it is. In any job, that's how it works. You don't want to knock it off, we got something for you. And so the more you take from these guys, the more they listen. But you got James Harden in the strip club, you got Kyrie Irving at a birthday party, you got all types of other stuff going. Yeah, start hitting them where it hurts, right in the pocket. Texas owner Cal Manera says he has spoken with quarterback Deshaun Watson via text, right? But the Texans still appear to have work to do to make Watson happy after his text yesterday, which read, "I was on a 2, then I took it to a 10." Any idea what that could mean, Jay?
I think it goes back to something I believe I heard in some form or fashion from DeAndre Hopkins, where when Hopkins got traded, Deshaun Watson, wasn't all that upset with it. But now that he was left out of the general manager surge, that's what really got under his skin. Of course, not 4 months after he signed, his Mega Millions jackpot deal. I think there's still a lot of work here for the Texans if they want to keep Watson in the fold, and I don't know if this relationship is going to be able to be mended, and it's just going to be interesting if Deshaun Watson is able to pull some type of NBA power player move and get himself out of there, because I don't think it's a good situation. And he should have known. He should have known that when they traded DeAndre Hopkins.
Right.
Last one later today. It's Fight Night Holloway versus Qatar on ESPN Plus and on ABC at the Etihad Arena in Abu Dhabi. The main event is a UFC featherweight title bout between the number 1 ranked contender Max Holloway and the number 6 ranked contender Calvin Kattar. Who you got, Drink?
I'm taking Holloway in this one. Both guys coming off. Holloway is coming off a loss to the champion, Volkanovski, and then Cater, he's coming off a win. However, Max Holloway is a featherweight great, pound for pound great in the featherweight division. So it's just very hard for me to go against the greatness I've seen out of him. So I'm going with Max Holloway. And just on a side note, folks, if you do watch this event, I think this event will be, the arena will be full. That's why this is a new arena that the UFC is rolling out on Yas Island for the sole purpose of being able to have fans, because they're getting it ready for the Notorious one. That's either here or there. So I think it will be fans. So welcome. I'm happy to see the fans come back, but I'm taking Max Holloway by TKO in the 4th round. Holla at your boy.
All right, that concludes today's Drink of Wisdom. I'm Cody Ward.
I'm Jay Wise.
And I'm Nathan Drinking. And remember, make tomorrow better than today and make today better than yesterday. And you know what we gonna do. We gonna holler at you until next time, baby.